And she makes that statement because all of a sudden you're acting distant. But she really don't want it to end. So that's so many things that could be multi-layered in the dynamics of people. That's why you got to question people. You got to personalize the situation that you're going through right now, and you got to be present. Just because somebody else said that same statement doesn't mean that it equate to another person saying that same statement. Their message might mean something totally different. So you really got to learn people, dwell with them, and understand them. Know when I'm okay is just a cover up. Or know when someone says everything's going crazy and it's just a lie. You have to study patterns. And it's not like, oh my gosh, sounds so tedious. It's really not. It's an everyday process. You don't have to question initially all the time. You might say, I notice you be doing this quite often. Or I notice you do X, Y, and Z when this happens. I'm just curious, what does that mean? So it doesn't have to be questioned immediately. You have to know the difference between the words that's coming out of someone's mouth and the bigger message. Someone could be trying to convince you that X, Y, and Z is going on, but you see clearly what is going on. But you got to be in tune. So I'm going to go over a couple of nonverbal cues. Just enough so when you walk away from listening to this, you have a little more understanding. Again, this is an ongoing topic. I'm going to dive into it during different times of running my show, ER. Only because it's such a big and heavy topic. In the technology world, even though we have cell phones, FaceTimes, emails, Skype, Facebook, laptops, even though we have all the technology that we can name, like, for days, studies have shown that we communicate less. We understand each other less. Because one thing that technology does, it takes out the tone. It sometimes takes out the expressions. People may say, well, I have emojis. Okay. 70% of the time people put that laugh out loud emoji. They don't even really mean it. So what does that say? And the estimation could be even bigger. It might be 80, 90%. But the point is, more than often we use emojis to cover up emotions. We might really be upset, but we want to appear that it's funny. So we hit the laugh out loud, or the smiley face, or the tears and cracking up face. So, as much as we think we communicate, we really don't. We're becoming a lot more robotic. So, I'm going to cover some emotional cues, just so you see the significance in knowing nonverbal communication. The first one I want to cover is facial expressions. How much is conveyed when a person smiles and their eyes pop and their eyebrows is raised? That usually shows that they're excited. They don't have to say a word. You already know it. If their eyes drop and it's a frown on their face and their countenance just seems low, you already know what's going on. If they had a fist balled up, arms folded, legs tightly asserted to the ground with a stern look, 20 times out of 20, they have anger around them. They have an angry disposition. So, facial expressions, how someone faces, is very key. It'll actually be the determining factor on how much you say when you encounter them. Some people might not be in the mood for a bunch of words. You can see that all over their face. Some people in their face will show that they want you to tell them a whole novel, because that's how intrigued they are about seeing you. So they want to hear every single moment, minute, hour of the day, because they're that much in tune with who you are. So you have to be able to know these things so that you communicate with people in an effective and healthy way. You don't airbeat people, and you don't seem resistance toward others that want to hear a lot. So understand their facial expressions. Another nonverbal cue is gestures. If a person raised their arms, or say for me instance, you see me, and my arms is raised and open, and my palms, I'm extending my fingers out and in, out and in. Universally, you would assume that I want a hug, or I want you to be brought in closer to me. Universally. If you walking up to me and I put my hand up and it looks like a hand that you would use to smile, but it's like a blank palm, and you would assume keep your distance. I might have a cold. It might not even be as deep as I don't want you near me. I might have a cold. Or I might be on the phone and my earplugs is in, but I'm just listening to the person. And without me interrupting them while I'm listening to them, you come in the room. So I put my hand up to show, keep your distance. 1 second. I'll be a moment. But don't internalize it. Just be present in the moment to see what exactly is going on. And then 3 seconds after I do that, I'll be like, So it's a certain that I am on the phone. So understanding those gestures could save a headache of misunderstandings. But you got to dwell with people understanding. Someone's clearing their throat in your living room, and they're your guest. That might mean they want something to drink, but they don't know really how to vocalize it because they don't want to be coming to someone's house and just saying, give me something to drink. They want to actually be offered it. And so they might clear their throat to express that. You should be that in tune. Oh, you need something to drink? Oh, okay, 1 second. I'll be right with you. So gestures is so key in nonverbal cues. Because then you understand what people are saying without them even saying it. And it becomes funny. Because then you're like, wow, people are communicating way more than I thought they was. They're saying a lot more than what I think they are. They might be brief with words, but they're saying a whole lot. They're in attention at every one of your engagements, every time you perform. Every time you speak, they're there, attentively. They're not on Facebook, they're not on Instagram, liking a bunch of your pages and pictures, but they in your real life, coming to different events. So that gesture itself is showing that they're one of your fans more than what you think that more than what you think they are. Okay. Now, this one, next nonverbal cue, is highly underrated, but very key, and is missed when we are emailing, texting, or sending emojis. And the nonverbal cue of paralinguistics. And I'm not perfect, so I might be mispronouncing it, but those in the psychology and communications realm, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Your tone, your delivery on your messages, on your words is very key. Just because an exclamation point is put in a text, that don't mean all the time someone's excited. That don't mean all the time someone's angry. And you hear more than often that messages are lost in translation. Well, I thought you meant this. I thought this was said. That's why, at the end of the day, aside from how quick a text can be sent, how fast an email could be sent, physical presentation really gives the full scope of what someone's trying to say. Their tone could be very inviting and warm because you are present and in front of them. However, when it's sent in a text message, you might look at it as very cold and distant and that they don't want to even be involved. So tone is very key. It's a very key nonverbal cue. So many things get lost into translation because people add tones that weren't even there. And they don't even ask. They don't even inquire and say, okay, is this the message you was trying to convey to me? And then that person can give you clarity. That's why I say physical representation is way more important than a text and an email. Let's go get some tea or coffee.